Kilo Charlie 1 Golf November Sierra, and that was, what did I say? Kilo Charlie 1 Golf November Sierra, and this is Victor Echo 3, Mike India Oscar. Victor Echo 3, Mike India Oscar. The name is Maureen, and my QTH is Canada. Over.
Hi, you're getting through. This is Whiskey Alpha 7 Alpha Lima, Alita from Utah, and you're getting through just fine. WA7AL.
Okay, I think it was WK7AL. Thank you very much for letting me know that we're getting through there. My goodness, I guess it's Whiskey Alpha 7 Alpha Lima. Very good, Alita. Nice to have you, see you on board. I don't check into the Alera very, very often, but as soon as I see there's a bunch of numbers up there, I figured, well, it's worth a try. We're up here in Ontario, Canada, and the name of, well, I guess our biggest city closest to us is, yeah, I'm blanking. I was, oh boy, this is sad. But anyhow, let's put it this way. My QTH is Wyerton, Ontario. You're on the Bruce Peninsula, which is in between Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. We're up in the Bruce Peninsula, they call it. And our big city next to us is Owen Sound. Owen Sound, Oscar Williams, Echo November, Sierra Oscar, Uniform November Delta. Over.
Very nice. I am south of you quite a bit. I am in Utah. I'm on the border of Colorado and Utah, and I guess my claim to fame is I have the wall of dinosaur bones. It's at the quarry here in Jensen, Utah, and it's a very, I guess you could say, popular tourist site. A lot of people come throughout the world to see it. WA7AL.
WA7AL. Very good indeed on the dinosaur bones down in your area, and a great tourist site. Well, this is a tourist area up here. Of course, it's for our sand beaches that we have, and a lot of people from Toronto and many other big cities usually come up north to go to our beaches and that. And as I when we go down there, I don't think you could spread a blanket on the sand down there. There's so many people. But anyhow, that's what brings prosperity into the towns up this way in the summertime. Very nice to hear you in. I didn't hear anybody else in there. I see a bunch of names listed, but I don't see anybody else. But it's really, really nice to hear you. I am a Clara member in Ontario, and as I said, I've been a Clara member now since 1990, I guess it was. And we usually have our nets starting in the fall, and in September here we'll start up with our nets. We don't have any on Echo Lake or anything like that. We're on 40 meters, 80 meters, and 20 meters. And of course, if you go to Clara, what is it, clara.ca, I guess it'll get you as our home page. Well, there's a couple people that are down on the side here. So I'll just say well, thanks for coming back to me, and we'll see if any one of the girls on here wants to come in. I don't know what time it starts, the net starts on here, but we'll listen along for a little bit. Victor Echo 3, Mike India Oscar, and I'll be on the quiet side. Turn it over to you, WA7AL. I'll give you 3, Mike India Oscar.
Well, it's good to hear you on. If you want to, if you have a computer on the side, a lot of us have a chat room that's going. That's nfarl.dewdropin.org. And a lot of the ladies talk while the topic's being done. I can type it into the other chat room if you're interested on your Echo link so that you can hook it in on a separate computer and you can join us there as well. Right now we have about 6 ladies that are talking, and we have a side conversation going that you can read, so that way, you know, women like to talk about all kinds of things, and some of the other information gets on it as well. So anyway, I will type that in for you, WA7AL.
Roger, okay, I do appreciate it. Yeah, I have been to the Dewdrop Inn before, but as I said, I know the fellow in Newfoundland that has started us on the program. But, okay, we'll watch for it here. Yes, it's the big YL one. I know they come on, it's just before the fellows come on, I guess, but, and I do appreciate it. So I'll look here. Okay, I got it, NFARI, and got, or L, I guess, was dewdropin.org. Okay, thank you very much, and we'll type that in and see what we can get on this end. I do appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. The E3 Mike and the Oscar say that.
I don't know about you, but having the full experience of both going, it makes it a fun evening, being able to talk to all of the YLs. It makes it enjoyable. So, you know, having both conversations going and keeping track, it can get nuts at times, but it makes it fun, makes my mind go and grow, so to speak. Hi. So anyway, I guess we're just waiting for the net to begin, and I'll get off so that they can begin. WA7AL. WA7AL. Is there anyone who can explain the contest for this weekend that's going on with Alara? I've looked online and they posted it on the Facebook page, a link, but I was wondering if anybody can do some history on it. That would be really helpful. So if anybody can do that, that'd be great. Thanks. WA7AL.
Good evening, ladies. AC4YL here. Apologize for the delay. Had some computer trouble, so isn't it? It's the way it goes. Your computer always wants to reboot or do something at the worst possible moment. So anyway, I apologize for the delay here, but Alita, I did hear you talking about the Alara contest, and we'll go over that a little bit this evening. So, not sure if anybody else has started to kick off the net. So, if so, please come back and let me know. AC4YL. Okay, very good. Not hearing anything, so again, apologize for the lateness here. It's been one of those weeks, actually. Work's been kind of insane, and that's the way it goes sometimes. All right, enough about that. Let's kick on in here and see if we can't get this ball rolling with the net this evening. This is Catherine, AC4YL, net control for this evening's net. We meet every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Echolink Alara conference node. Be sure to invite all YLs you know to join us. We do ask that only YLs or licensed young lady ham radio operators check in and participate. The purpose of this net is to encourage you to become and stay active with amateur radio, help each other improve our operating knowledge and skills, and have fun. For more ham fun between weekly nets, check out the YL OpNet Facebook group. During the net, please be sure and join us in the NFARL Do Drop In chat room by opening any web browser and going to nfarl.dodropin.org. Just put your name -- call sign in the box and click log in. Why else would and don't forget that there is a 3 to 4 second delay when transmitting through Echolink. This is Catherine, AC4YL. We will now begin taking check-ins. Please call now.
Whiskey Alpha 7 Alpha Lima, Alita, Vernal, Utah.
AE7MB, Margaret, Battleground, Washington.
Net Control, Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee Lima, Dawn in Hudson, Florida.
KI4HHI, Mary Catherine in Fayetteville, Georgia.
KC8UFV, Chrissy in Toledo, Ohio. KC9ZHV, Loren in Albany, Illinois.
This is Whiskey 3 Lima Echo Oscar, Leah in Oklahoma.
KC8PKY, Linda, Knox, Indiana. KC9YL, Ann in Wisconsin.
Kilo Bravo 4, Rosemary in Texas.
K7CJS, Gardner, Washington.
Whiskey 1, Mike Kilo Whiskey, Gretchen in Tucker, Georgia.
W5MQC, Michelle, Norman, Oklahoma.
In Nashua, New Hampshire.
Whiskey 3 Lima Echo Oscar, Leah, Midwest City, Oklahoma.
Okay, very good. Let's start with this round. We got a great group here, and it's always great when I'm struggling to keep up typing because you gals are checking in so fast. This is a good thing. So anyway, hopefully I won't botch any calls or names this evening, but we'll give it a whirl. So let me scroll up here. So far we have Alita, WA7AL, joining us from Utah. Margaret, AE7MB, joining us from Washington. Dawn, WA4YL, joining us from Florida. KI4HHI, Mary Catherine, joining us from Georgia this evening. Welcome. I believe this is your first time on the net. That is great. We are glad to have you here with us. And we have Chrissy, KC9ZHV from Ohio this evening. Loren KC9ZHV, joining us from Illinois. Leah, W3LEO, joining us from Oklahoma. Got you, Leah, in the log. Linda, KC8PKY, joining us from Indiana. Rita, NE0DB. I saw you key up, but didn't have any audio on you, but I do have you in the log, joining us from Colorado. And KC9YL, joining us from Wisconsin. Rosemarie, KB4RM, joining us from Texas. CJ, K7CJS, joining us from Washington. Gretchen, W1MKW, joining us from Georgia. Michelle, W5MQC, checking in from Oklahoma. And Ann, KC1GNS, joining us from New Hampshire. And Melanie, AG4YL, I do have you in the log as well. Got you that time. Okay, very good. I see Susie here, N8CGM. Susie, got you in the log, but if you'd like to come in and check in officially as well, please do. No problem at all. And we'd love to hear you also. So let's do one more check for any YLs who have not checked in and would like to do so. Please call now. Okay, phew. All right, we got through that. So great group we have this evening. I'm sure some others will pop in here and join us as well. So we'll give you another chance to check in a bit, so don't worry about that. Okay, so lots of things have happened over the last week since we have all chatted, and it's great to have everybody here. I see some folks in the Do Drop In chat that I don't see in Echolink. I believe Maureen is here with us, VE3MIO. I'm not sure if she's able to get on Echolink, so maybe we'll see her in a bit. I apologize, I can't run the net and chat in two chat rooms, so if you type me a message in either chat, you have better luck in the Echolink chat chatting me something, especially if you have a comment or a question. Put it in there. It's easier to see that than follow the Do Drop In chat, just for ease of following, but I can't, you know, chewing gum and riding a bike is not my strong suit. So, great group this evening. Lots of things going on over the past week. We had the solar eclipse, and I'm sure a lot of you folks watched and or were in your shacks playing radio during the event. So we're looking forward to hearing your comments and experience with that that occurred on Monday. And also we had the Huntsville Hamfest over the weekend as well. So we'd love to hear if anybody was there other than Melanie and myself that's on the net this evening. We'd love to hear your experience as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's open it up to the group, and let's start talking about the solar eclipse. So you can talk about your experience watching it and or playing ham radio during it, and your experience not just during the event itself, but perhaps the time before or time after. Anything you'd like to talk about with reference to the solar eclipse, just throw your call out real quick and we'll pass the mic to you, AC4YL. Wow, nobody wants to talk about the solar eclipse. I guess you all were so moved there just aren't any words. Okay, well that's okay. I think first thing we'll chat in. Melanie and I, of course, were on our way back from Huntsville at the time. We stayed one additional day because, you know, let's face it, Hamfests are exhausting. So we stayed over one more day before trekking back to Georgia, and so we had actually stopped in Scottsboro, Alabama, to check out the really cool unclaimed baggage store, which just happened to be about a 15-minute stop off. So we stopped off over there, and right when we pulled in was about the time for the event to begin. So we were able to catch part of that. Believe it or not, there was this nice massive cloud that came over that it was actually perfect timing where a lot of folks would complain about it. It was actually helpful because neither of us had any special glasses, and we didn't create a box to view it. So this was really cool. We were actually able to look at it in the rear window of the car we were in, and was able to shoot a couple of photos and a short video until, of course, you couldn't look any longer. So it was really, really an awesome experience, and the next one will be in 2024 on April the 8th. So if you missed this one, or you didn't really get close enough to the path of totality and you'd like to check it out, we don't have to wait 99 more years for the next one. Just a bit longer here, about 6 years before the next one. So start planning now, right, before all the hotels get booked. So it was a great event. We went in the store for a few and then came back out just in time for it to get more like twilight outside, and it was amazing to feel the temperature changes, and you know, you're standing right in direct sunlight where it was like 91 to 94 degrees Fahrenheit before the eclipse. During the eclipse, it was definitely cooler, noticeably cooler. So we thoroughly enjoyed that and had a good time and saved our eyes in the process. Okay, Dawn wants to share her solar eclipse experience, so WA4YL, AC4YL, and the next.
This is WA4YL. On Monday, I made 2 contacts with 2 special event stations for the solar eclipse, and I had a 5-9 signal report for W4E and W4ARW. They were both running special event stations for the solar eclipse. I was trying for more, but then I had to go out and didn't have time to get back. And I saw a partial solar eclipse here in Florida. The cloud cover moved out of the way just in time as it was, and I saw the part of the corona. Back to that intro.
All right, very good, Dawn. Thanks for bringing in those special event stations. There were several out there for the solar eclipse QSO party. So if you had any experience working those, please tell us about that too. So great job, Dawn, and glad you had a good time and were able to experience some of that. It's great to hear you on tonight as well. So thank you very much. Leah, I think, also wanted to share her experience. Cool videos on Facebook, Leah. Really enjoyed those. So we'll pass the mic to you, W3LEO, AC4YL, and the next.
This is W3LEO. Yeah, we live in Oklahoma, so I'm in central Oklahoma. Of course, it is an 81% viewing here. My kids and my mother-in-law, we drove up to Sabetha, Kansas, which is not far from the Nebraska border. The little town there had a little setup at one of their baseball fields. I unfortunately could not take my radio. I don't have a small enough HF radio that I could have taken, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because it rained on us most of the day, and we got to see the eclipse throughout once the clear clouds moved. But we still got to experience the totality, and it's just something that unless you can be there, it's almost hard to describe it. But it was such a neat effect. I just couldn't get over the experience of it. So I would like to try to go Dallas area, avoiding Dallas, obviously, in 7 years. But that was kind of my experience. So we did travel some, get into a bunch of traffic, but it wasn't too bad. It was just a neat adventure, and I'm grateful we were able to go do that. Back to net control, W3LEO.
Cool. Thanks so much, Leah, for sharing your experience. And again, it was really cool to see your videos on Facebook. That was really cool to watch. And yeah, you know, even the small experience being pretty far out of the direct path there, it was still just really neat to experience that. But to really be in the path of totality must be something to experience. So again, you gals have 7 years to start planning. And Andrea commented something interesting on Facebook too. She was talking about you know, some places were charging $50 to park in their parking lot for the eclipse. That's just ridiculous. But a certain retail establishment, who shall remain nameless on this net, was nice enough to allow people to park in the parking lots and experience it for free. And if you're not sure which retail establishment that was, it's on Andrea's. Andrea posted it on Facebook. I'm sure you can find it on her timeline or page there. So anyway, and I know some of the other folks on here probably saw some reports about that retailer being kind enough to open their parking lot, so to speak, and let people come in to view the eclipse. So very cool. So I see a comment from Carol about a radio. So Carol, we'll come to you in just a minute once we're done talking about the solar eclipse, because we'd love to hear about the radio you just got. That's cool. Okay, anybody else want to tell us about your solar eclipse experience, working any special event stations prior to, or spending any time during the eclipse? Please call now.
W1MKW.
Well, good evening, Gretchen. Please go ahead. Love to hear what you have to share with the group. Over to you.
I got my general license a couple of weekends ago through the Atlanta Radio Club, and the Alpha Memorial Radio Club from Stone Mountain went to Blairsville, Georgia, Vogel State Park, and on Saturday and Sunday we had a special event station. We contacted about 104 people, which was pretty good since the bands were not in our favor. And we just had a really great time. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to play HF, and I'm excited to do a lot more of it. My husband stayed for the eclipse, and I had to come work, but I did get to the sun outside and see it in between doing EKGs on people. Back to net.
All right. Well, first of all, big congratulations, Gretchen, on getting your upgrade to general class license. And I know you're on RF right now, so you're probably not looking at the Echolink chats, but several of the gals in here are woohooing and congratulating you here, including Alita, WA7AL, Michelle, W5MQC, Dawn, WA4YL. So several comments here in the chat giving you a shout out there and a congratulations. I'm sure all the gals here are very happy for you and are celebrating with you right now. So congratulations on that accomplishment. And now all you got to do is enjoy your general class while you study for your extra, right? Hi. Very good. Okay. Awesome. So it sounds like you guys had fun over at Vogel State Park. Glad you guys were able to get out there and have a special event station. That makes it all that more exciting. So cool. Who knows? We got 7 years to plan another special event station for the next one, right? All right, very cool. Who else has a solar eclipse experience to share with the group? Please call now.
Whiskey Alpha 7 Alpha Lima.
Please, go ahead, Alita.
guess I get to share a kind of like a multiple experience. My sister lives in just a little bit outside of Idaho Falls, and she was in the totality. My father drove an hour south from where he lives, which was Four Corners, Wyoming, and got to see it in Luck, Wyoming. And because of where I live, I didn't get to see it in full totality, but I think 95 is pretty close. So I'm not complaining. But we got to experience that and be able to do that as well. I wasn't able to get on my HF, but I, however, did get on my 2 meters on my HT and was communicating that way with a lot of the other hams in the area because the cell service, 2 of our sensors blew up in our local telephone area. So, needless to say, cell phones didn't work very well and landlines were down. So we were able to use that to be able to help out and get communications in our local area. So WA7AL, and back to net.
Well, that is fantastic, Alita. Awesome. Yep, see, ham radio stepping right in when needed, and got to enjoy the solar eclipse at the same time. Yeah, I'd say 95% is pretty darn close to 100% totality. So glad you had a good time there, Alita, and it's great to hear you on this evening. Very cool. All right, let's see. Just trying to keep up with the comments here. Let's catch up here. So yes, Rita, I know you're getting some answers over here in the chat, but I understand you're having trouble using the space bar for transmit. The lightning bolt is in the top left-hand corner if you're on a computer, that is, Rita. Top left-hand corner right under the file menu. Top left corner you see a lightning bolt is that first button. So what you would do to transmit is you would click it and it'll kind of look like it's depressed. Not like, you know, the emotion, but depressed is then pushed down. And then when you're done transmitting, you push that same lightning bolt button to stop transmitting. So Rita, if you'd like to give it a try, I'll go ahead and pass the mic over to you. NE0DB, AC4YL in the net.
Okay, do I have a copy? NE0DB?
Working perfectly, Rita. Please, go ahead. I'm not copying you this time, Rita. Try again. Just click that lightning bolt again. It should work. Knock on wood. Go ahead, Rita. Well, you keyed up there, Rita, and then you unkeyed. So just go ahead and you should be able to just click the lightning bolt and talk to us. And then when you're done, just click that lightning bolt again. That'll stop your transmit. And you can also tell you're transmitting in the lower left-hand corner. There's a bar with a little TX in a red box that you'll see. All right, please go ahead and try again there, Rita. No worries at all. Okay, so I'm not sure, but I don't see Rita listed in my Echolink anymore, and it looks like she got timed out over on the Dewdrop In, so she might be having some internet or computer trouble. So we will try Rita again in a few minutes. So Mel, if you see her pop back in here and I miss it, just put a little comment in the chat for me if you don't mind, and we'll try to get her back. Looks like she's back in the Dewdrop In chat, so we'll see if she pops in here in a minute. So anybody else have a QSO party, solar eclipse QSO party or solar eclipse event experience you'd like to share with the group? Please call now.
This is WA4YL. I heard N9S out there over the weekend before the solar eclipse. I could hear him, but I don't think he heard me. Not sure if he did, but he never came to my call. Back to net control.
Well, Dawn, that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Try to work somebody and they don't always hear you, but you know what? You give it a try, and that's cool. And you just keep on going and trying again. So neato. Let's see. It looks like Rita is back with us. So Rita, let's try this again, and maybe Echolink will be nicer to you. No worries, we'll hang in there with you. So NE0DZ, AC4YL in the net. Okay, still no copy yet from Rita, so we'll just keep, we'll circle back around in a bit. Okay, anybody else have additional solar eclipse comments to make? Please call now. Okay, not hearing anyone, so we will shuffle along then. Okay, so again, the next one will be in April of 2024, so you can start planning ahead for that and maybe do some traveling next go-round or get you a portable HF rig set up and you can watch it and operate at the same time. How about that? All right, thanks to all you ladies for sharing your experience with the group. We do appreciate it. And if you think of something that you missed being able to tell us and want to, please come back later and we'll give you the opportunity to do just that. Alright, so we had the Huntsville Ham Fest take place this past weekend, and that was a lot of fun. And since I talked about a little bit about our solar eclipse experience, I'm going to pass the mic over to Melanie and let her tell you about our Huntsville experience. If she doesn't mind, AG4YL, AC4YL in the net.
AC4YL in the net, AG4YL. Yeah, Huntsville was disappointing, and it was I guess since Charlie died last year, between that and the eclipse, there wasn't a lot of people there, and so there was a lot of foot traffic. The energy wasn't there, and it was pretty much depressing and a downer. So there you go. That was Huntsville. But we did play some radio in the North American QSO party on Saturday evening for a few hours until the bands went crunchy, which they kind of were anyway. Yeah, that was pretty much it. It was The forums are really good. We did a couple of forums, and we looked to be changing up one of them a little bit and tweaking it. And we had a great Echolink forum. That was a lot of fun. We got to do some live demo on Echolink between phones and tablets and the computer on the projector screen. That was a lot of fun. The forum's always really good, and you know, whether you get 1 or 100 people, it doesn't really matter. It's about somebody hopefully getting something out of it. That's always a good thing, and always worthwhile just to be able to help some of our YLs out there, or future YLs, or inactive YLs, discover how crazy cool Echolink can actually be. And there were even a couple OMs that sat in on that one and was like, holy cow, the club's going to go nuts when they hear about this. This is so cool. So helping out everybody, and the more people you get out there and into it, you know, vicariously, there'll be more YLs out there getting into it too. So even though the YL forums, of course, anybody that gets into it and gets something out of it, it's just really it's a really cool thing. I noticed that where is it? Oh, Alita helped with communications for a relay ultra runner race. Awesome! Let me pause and reset. And that's really cool. And I noticed it's kind of cool. I think that's Lee up there that said her husband and dad got to be a part of the NBC affiliate TV station moving into a brand new station. They're engineers there, so that's kind of neat. My father was, I think his title was like Master Color Console Control Operator or something like that, back when they had color consoles and black and white consoles at the NBC station in Detroit, which at the time was WWJ Detroit. So I'm very familiar with the Peacock, and so that's great. Moved into a brand new station. That is a really big deal, and I'm certain it was kind of neat getting everything set up for them and to be part of that milestone for them. So anyway, just thought I'd share that little piece from the chats here on Echolink. And Rita, one of the things that we covered on the net, and you can go back to our YouTube channel for the net 2 weeks ago. There's a where is it? On your Echolink, since it looks like you are using a computer, what you can do is go to your Preferences screen. It's under the Tools menu. Files, Edit, Station, Tools, View, Help. It's under Tools. Or it's the stack of 3 cards between the hammer and wrench and the hand. And go to your Connections. Click on that tab under Preferences. And then click on PTT Control. And then click on, check the checkbox off that says Keyboard Key. Serial port CTS should be blank. Middle mouse button should be blank. Momentary should be blank. And check on System-Wide and pick a keyboard key that you don't use for anything else. Pause or reset. If you're having some issues with your, I don't know if you're having issues with your internet connection, or it's just the spacebar die. I don't know what it is. There's a glitch in Echolink. The spacebar never works for very long for anybody. And besides that, when you're chatting, it can be weird. So pick a key that you don't use and if you put it on momentary, it means when you hold it down, you're transmitting, and when you release it, you're not transmitting. If you uncheck momentary, you tap it again and stop transmitting. So it's basically click on and then click off, as opposed to hold down for on like a regular P. I get tired of holding something for 2.5 minutes, so that's why I just put it on. I uncheck the momentary, and then if you put it on system-wide, that means that you can go from page to page and get on the internet and get on the NARFL chat and still be able to, by tapping the key that you choose, get on and off the net. But pick a keyboard key that you're not going to use for anything else. Pick something that you don't ever use when you're in chat, or when you're doing something else on the NARFL chat or Echolink chat, or when you're browsing the web, which now you can do if you put it on system-wide. So there you go. So keyboard key, check. System-wide, check. Momentary, that's up to you. Serial port, no check. Middle mouse button, no check. And then just click OK. And that's in your PTT control, under your connections, under your preferences, under your tools. And I hope that helps. And anybody else that didn't get that before, also down on the bottom of your connections page under PTT control, there's a little checkbox that says show alert when doubling. You want to make sure that's checked, and that'll let you know when you're doubling in on somebody. And sometimes it helps you. Sometimes it's just pointless, but sometimes it helps. All right, this is AG4WILE. I'll pass this back over to Catherine and Annette.
Well, hopefully that'll help you out there, Rita. And when you're ready to try again, just put a comment in the Echolink chat, and we'll be happy to pass the mic to you to try again on that. So very good. And gals, don't worry about so much about doubling. You know, you do want to check that box to show alert when doubling, but you know, if you see it, don't panic and then not try again in a little bit. We love to hear all of your comments, so don't let that stop you from trying to transmit again at the next quiet moment, so to speak, because we love to hear what you have to say. So don't let that intimidate you or discourage you. It happens. I think every single one of us has done it or will do it before long, and it's actually very easy to do. So don't fret and don't panic. Nobody really knows you doubled. You're the only one that sees I believe you're the only one that sees the comment in the Echolink chat box. It'll tell you if you're doubling. You'll see that. Nobody else sees that. So unless you apologize for doubling, nobody can necessarily tell that you did. So the only hint there is if the person you doubled with that actually came through finishes transmitting and they unkey and you're still transmitting, trying to send, and you're still talking or sharing whatever you have to say, then we'll hear the rest of what you said. But we didn't hear the front end because the other person that was talking that actually hit it that split second prior to is who we actually heard on the front end. So don't worry if you double. It's okay. The key is when you see Echolink tell you you're doubling, unkey as soon as you see that, and just wait a moment and see if there's anybody else transmitting before trying to throw your call out again to check if if anybody else is transmitting and that we're able to pass the mic to you. So again, don't worry about doubling. That's kind of the way to work through that. Okay, very good. So again, I'll mention the last couple weeks we did on Echolink, and I can't recall if I uploaded last week's net recorded or not. So I will check that this upcoming weekend and get that up for you gals. And I believe Loren is recording this week's net, so we should have that as well. Okay, very good. So Let's open up the group. Do we have any comments or anything that you gals would like to share about anything at this point before we circle back around to the Alara contest coming up this weekend?
Whiskey Alpha 7 Alpha Lima.
Oh, please go ahead, Alita, and then I think Michelle has something to share with the group as well. So let's go to Alita first, and then we'll go on over to Michelle.
Well, I guess you could say I learned how to run a emergency communications by fire. As many of you know, I am green at being a ham radio operator, and so our club was asked to do emergency communications up what's called Red Cloud Loop here in the Uinta Basin. And it's a 50-mile race, and they asked if we could do the emergency communications due to the fact that cell service was not available. So needless to say, we had to set up antennas so that we could actually hit the local 2-meter repeater and be able to clearly use the repeater so that we could all hear the communications from stop 1 through stop 9, so that everybody, we could make sure all those racers were safe and everybody was able to make it through the checkpoints. But it was quite an experience. And I hope I don't have to do a 24-hour race again, just my husband and I. It was a long day. WA7AL, back to net.
Well, very good, Alita. Yeah, those 24-hour deals are rough, aren't they? And I guess it's kind of like field day without a break, though. Where you have to kind of stay on it for a while. So, you know, but yet again, it's a good experience for you, and at least now you can say you've done it, right? And leave that joy for the next person to experience that next year. All right, very good. I think Michelle had a comment as well for the group. So let's pass the mic on over to her, W5MQC, AC4YL in the net.
Well, good evening, ladies. W5MQC here. I just wanted to let everybody know to go ahead and mark your calendars. It looks like the 2018 YLRL convention is going to be in Oklahoma, August 2nd through the 5th. That's a Thursday through Sunday, with, you know, Thursday evening being a meet and greet and Sunday being everybody saying their 33s, and Friday and Saturday being the meat of everything. I'm pretty sure it's going to be at the Sheridan. It's going to be in downtown Oklahoma City, right along the river, so everything is within driving distance. Once you get there, you don't really have to go anywhere else. Everything is in walking distance. We'll be nailing down everything, and then I'll send out save the date stuff as soon as we just confirm a couple more things with the hotel. So that's it for me, W5MQC, back to net control.
Okay, very good, Michelle. Well, I'm sure that everybody appreciates your efforts in getting that together, as it's no doubt not a piece of cake task to do, a lot of things to get together and coordinate. And sounds like it'll be quite interesting, so I'm sure you'll keep everybody up to date on the Young Ladies Radio League Facebook group page there. And because I'm sure, I think you may have already posted an event there for that. I'm not sure. Seen so many things coming through lately. So, very good. We appreciate all your hard work and effort, and no doubt it will be a success. So, thank you very much, Michelle. Appreciate you sharing that with the group. All right. Anybody else have anything that you'd like to tell the group here? Please call now, AC4YL. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and jump in then and talk about the OR contest going on this weekend. So, it kicks off on Saturday, 26th at 0600 UTC and runs through Sunday the 27th at 0559 UTC. And the frequencies that this contest will run on are all HF bands except 160 meters and work bands, which is like your 17 and 12 and 30 meter and 60, I believe. So, but you can operate on 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, and they are also accepting cues, I believe, on Echolink, as well as repeaters. Let me see if I can find that here in the contest info. Yes, Echolink and 2 meters will also be accepted. They do prefer a separate log for those contacts. So if you make contacts on Echolink and 2 meters, please separate that log from any HF contest participation that you do. It is phone and or CW. You can operate to one or both modes. The objective of this contest is to encourage YLs in the use of amateur radio. YLs are to work everyone, OMs to work YLs only. And you basically, if you're operating on phone, you call CQ Alara contest. OMs will call CQ YL, and CW YLs call CQ test Alara. So that's the bands and the modes that you can operate on, and who you are going to try and exchange with. So YLs can exchange with anyone, and and how to make that contact to what you would call CQ. Let me pause for a reset. Okay, so you've got that piece of it. Now let's talk about the exchanges. Of course, when we went through contesting, the exchanges is basically what information are the two people that are having a queue exchanging. So the exchanges are for, if you're an Alara member, you give a signal report and your the letter A and then your name. So 59A if you're on phone, and then your first name. So it'll be 59A Catherine, or Cat, because I shorten it because it's a pain to try and spell Catherine phonetically, especially on HF. So if you're an Alara member, that would be your exchange. If you're a YL, non-Alara member, or an OM, your exchange is the signal report, serial number starting at 001, your name, and whether you're a YL or OM, so they can keep track on that. Okay, so any questions so far on the bands, the modes, how to call CQ, and the exchange information? And the link for that info I posted in the Echolink chat. You can go to alara.org.au/contest, and you can find that info there. Okay, any questions on what we covered so far with that?
KC9ZHV.
Please go ahead, Chrissy.
Just curious, is there a way to operate multiple events at the same time? This weekend is also the Ohio QSO party. So I was just curious if they could be combined as far as operating, or how would that be done, or KC9ZHV. Oh,
absolutely, you can do that, Chrissy. You can operate two 2 contests at the same time. You could do double exchanges. It can get a little hairy and somewhat confusing for people that are not participating in the contest. I would recommend that you split your time up and do some time on one contest and some time on another. It might just be a simplified way to do it, but I don't believe there's any rules about, you can't operate 2 contests at the same time. You can, it just could get complicated real fast. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question there, Christy. And by the way, there is the HF net on 14.288, and I believe either Margaret or Ann is running it. I think it might be Margaret. I know Ann wasn't going to make it on tonight. She does plan on being back with us next week. So if you would like to hop on 14.288 for the HF net, you are more than welcome to do that. We encourage you to if you would like, or you're more than welcome to stay here for the next about 30 minutes or so. So again, 14.288 for the YL HF net, and you can always check in over there and hang out there till that net's over and come back here if it's over prior to 9:30. We'd love to have you back with us as well. So thanks, Mel, for the reminder in the chat. And Christy, hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions on the LARA contest and what we covered so far, please call now. Okay, not hearing any more, and Dawn brings up a good point in the chat there. You could, of course, just tune the VFO and look for folks working each of those contests and have your 2 logs open, and when you hear somebody working the ALARA contest and they're out there calling CQ ALARA contest, or you hear OMs calling CQYL, well, by all means, go ahead and work them, give them their exchange for that contest, and then if the next person you hear is working the other contest you want to participate in, then there you go. You can listen to that. All right. CJ has a question. Let's go to CJ. K7CJS, please go ahead.
Hey there, K7CJS. Yeah, I was trying to type and I wasn't keeping up with you. Was this all bands? It included HF and VHF, UHF. I got it that it counts with repeaters and echo link, but VHF and UHF I wasn't clear on. Back to you.
Okay, no problem, CJ. Okay, so the bands are all HF bands except 160 meters and warp bands. Your 12, 17, you can't 30 and 60, I believe. You can't contacts on those bands do not count. So 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, 2 meters, and echo link as well. So not 440, but 2 meters, echo link, and those HF bands of 80, 20, or 40, 20, 15, and 10. Okay, hopefully I didn't miss any. No guarantees at this point. So yes, VHF, no UHF. Alright, does that answer your question, CJ? Did you get it this time? Happy to repeat if needed.
No, I got it. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to maybe give it a shot. Back to you.
All right, awesome. Okay, so we've covered all that, and let's talk a little bit about scoring. So OMs, again, work YLs. Only YLs can work anyone. So the scoring works like this. On phone, it's 5 points for every ALARA member you log, 4 points for every YL non-member you log, and for the YLs, 3 points for every OM logged. On CW, all contacts made on CW count. Double points. So just take those numbers that we just gave you and double them up. OM's 5 points for an ALARA member logged and 4 points for a YL non-member. Okay, so that's the scoring. I know it sounds complicated, and it's easier when you can look at it. So I encourage you to go to the site and print out the rules and information for that. Okay, so logs. You do a single log entry. Your logs have to have certain information on it. It must show the date, UTC time, band, mode, and then your exchange information, of course, with that person that you work. So depending on who you work gives you the different exchange info. It's got to have their call sign, their signal report, serial number they sent if they're not an ALARA member, and report and serial number received, and number of operator of station worked and points claimed. So you total it all up, and that will have that information in it. You can submit both paper logs and electronic logs. So in answer to Michelle's question, you do not have to use their logging program. Your logs, however you choose to do it, must have that information on it. That's just what they ask for. Okay, the logs need to be signed, so they need to show your full name, call sign, and address, as well as the final score, points claimed. Obviously, if you're doing a paper log, they need to be able to read it, and whatever log you send to them won't be returned. So if you do it snail mail, you're not going to get your log back. They do recommend using VKCL as the logging program version. It gives the version information on there. Always try to get the latest version, and you can download that. Let me put the link in here. It's actually a pretty cool logging program if you have not checked it out. It's really kind of neat. If you have questions on the contest, you can reach out to the contest manager, Diane Main, VK4DI. Her email address that she uses for contesting is alaracontest@wia.org.au. So again, all this information is on the alara.org.au/contest, and you can read all about that, and it is this weekend. So if you're looking for some radio fun to do, that contest is out there. There will be certificates for the top score YL overall, top score phone, top score YL Echolink, top score Australian YLCW, top DX YLCW, top score DX YL, top score ALARA member in each country and VK call area, OMs also, top score, and top score VKYL Foundation license holder. So there's a lot of awards out there which are really cool. It's really, really neat. So there you have that. Okay. Again, if you have any further questions about the contest, reach out to Diane, VK4DI, at alaracontest@wia.org.au, and her email is found at the bottom of the page for the contest information. Any other questions? Please call now.
AG4YL.
Please go ahead, Melanie.
Okay, it's not a question so much as just an explanation for answering some of the questions that have popped up on the chat. So serial numbers. Serial numbers are kind of interesting. it's pretty easy. Serial number is simply the sequential number that you give your the number of contacts that you've made during the contest. For instance, we're going to do a little play acting here, and the first let's see here. Here we go. So I'm calling CQ Alara contest, CQ Alara contest. And Catherine AC4YL comes back and says AC4YL. And I answer her call and I say AC4YL 59 Melanie. And that's all you need to know on your exchange if you're an Alara member. If you're a non-member or an OM, it's going to be AC4YL 591 Melanie YL. She acknowledges that and gives me her information, 59 and whatever number I am to her in the contest, and her name and YL. So then we finish, I QRZ, and I hear WA4YL. I answer her WA4YL 592 Melanie YL, and she gives me her exchange back. QRZ, CQ Alara contest, CQ. W3LEO 593 Melanie YL. I pause for reset. So the serial number is simply the number, it's a sequential number assigned to each one of the contacts. So your very first contact that you exchange with, you're going to give them 1. And if they go, what contest is this? And you tell them it's the Alara contest. And they say, okay, what do I need to give you? And you say, have you worked anybody else in the Alara contest? And they go, oh, you know what? I did. I worked 2 other people in the Alara contest tonight. And you say, okay, can you give me the serial 3? That's all that is. It's a sequential number counting how many people, each person, you count up 1 that you've worked in the contest. So if I work 20 people, the next person I contact is going to be number 21, the serial number 21. So I hope that helps a little bit, and a little play on the exchange there, but that's all there is to it. If you're an Alara member, it's a little different, but you're already going to know what the exchange is. So there you go, and I'll pass this back over to Catherine and Annette, unless there's anybody else that has any questions and wants to jump in. This is a G4YL, back to net control.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Melanie. That was very helpful. And so Melanie gave us great exchange examples there. So it's kind of neat because if you're an Alara member, you don't have to give a serial number, but you will receive them. So you still need that spot on your log for that exchange. So it's really kind of neat. Contesting and KC9YL makes a good point, especially when you work contests that do require a serial number. That's when your digital logs, using the computer to log your electronic logs, are very helpful because they will generally keep up with that for you, make it much easier to keep track, especially as you work more and more contacts. It's easy starting out, 1, 2, 3, but when you get on up to, 37 and 38, and, you might lose track. Wait, did I work that person? Was I at 35? Or the electronic logs are very helpful in keeping you on the straight and narrow with that. So Again, thanks, Melanie, for sharing those examples with us. Very, very helpful. Okay, any other questions or comments about the ALARA contest? Please call now. Okay, not hearing anything. So, let's talk just a minute. We mentioned WARC bands, W-A-R-C bands. Let's talk just a moment about what those are. So basically, WARC bands and why they're not used in contesting. They are named after the World Administrative Radio Conference, hence WARC, W-A-R-C. The WARC bands are 30 meters, 17 meters, and 12 meters. Now, in 1979, the World Administrative Radio Conference, or WARC, created a worldwide allocation of these bands for amateur use. Now, they were open for use in the early 80s, and due to their relatively small bandwidth of 100 kilohertz or less, there's kind of an agreement that WARC bands may not be used for general contesting. So is it a hard and fast rule? No. But the agreement of not using the WARC bands has been codified in official recommendations. For example, in the IARU Region 1 HF Manager's Handbook, it states contest activity shall not take place on the 10, 18, and 24 megahertz bands, which, by the way, equate to 30 meters, 17 meters, and 12 meters. So that's why those bands are not used for contesting. Now, during contest period, they encourage amateur radio operators who are not participating in the contest to use those contest-free bands during the largest international contest, so that there's always a space for you to operate, even in crazy contests where the band seems really, really packed. So hopefully that explains a little bit more about WARC bands. Let me pause for a reset. So hopefully that helps out and gives you some additional information on WARC bands and what they are and why we don't use them in contesting. Again, it's 30 meters, 17 meters, and 12 meters are the WARC bands, not used for general contesting. Okay, and KC9ZHV has a question, so let's go on over to her and hopefully we can answer it for you there, AC4YL. Okay, not hearing anything. Oh, I think she disconnected and reconnected, so... Oh boy, Echolink gremlins at work tonight. Okay, please go ahead, Ann, with your question. KC9ZHV, AC4YL in the net.
KC9ZHV, Ann. I have a question. When you're doing 2-meter or Echolink, how would you do a signal report? Is that needed?
Well, Ann, that's an excellent question, and since it does appear to be a required part of the exchange, I would say yes. To be on the safe side, I would give a 5-9 exchange for that. So I would put that. I would definitely put that. Now, Diane is on Facebook, or again, you can shoot over an email to her to double check that at alaracontest@wia.org.au. But I believe for the sake of keeping the log straight and the required exchange information, I would just keep it at a 5.9, just to make sure you have something in the log. You can copy them and copy them well. Just go ahead and do a 5.9 exchange. But that's an excellent question, because we all know typically you don't give signal reports on Echolink or repeaters for that matter. So great question, Ann. Very good. Any other questions or comments about the ALARA contest or work bands or anything else you want to throw out there on anything we've talked about tonight? Please call now. Okay, not hearing anything, so let's see, it's pretty much all I had set aside to cover this evening. We've got the November Sweeps, I believe, is the next largest contest that's coming up this year. Let me just do a quick check on that, because it's been a while since I've even pulled up the calendar. In fact, I did put a link for information on work bands, by the way, in the Echolink chat. I'm also going to put a link to a great contest calendar you can use for ham radio contesting. It'll show you all the contests for the week. Oh, here's a good one this weekend. In addition to the ALARA contest, is the Hawaii QSO party. If you don't have Hawaii in your log and you're working all states, this weekend is a weekend to give it a shot. So I encourage you to try that and check that out. And as Christy mentioned earlier, this weekend is also the Ohio QSO party. It's also the Kansas QSO party, as well as the islands, U.S. and Canadian islands QSO party. So if you like to work IOTA, you probably have a really good chance to do that on the QSO party this weekend. So a lot of contests happening that you can play radio on this weekend. Alright, so let's go to Michelle real quick. She had a question, and then we'll go to Rita after Michelle's done, and we are hopefully able to answer her question. Then we'll go to Rita to check out her Echolink. So Michelle, let's pass the mic to you first. W5MQC, AC4YL, and the net.
Sorry, mine is less related to the radio and more related to Harvey. I know I have a lot of family down in South Texas, and I just looked at Don Wilbank's post, and it looks like even though this weekend's going to be bad for Texas, all you ladies in southeast United States, which I believe is you, Melanie, it doesn't look good, and I really want to hope and pray that you guys all stay out of the line of fire and don't get any damage. But if anybody does need anything, hopefully they'll reach out via the radio to everybody. Back to Net Control, W5MQC.
Okay, very good, Michelle. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a very good point, and we want to be aware of what's going on with that. A lot of flooding going on, so really you need to stay on top of things, paying attention to the weather patterns and things going on. So thanks, Michelle, for that reminder. Keep an eye out on the weather. I want to really watch that. Pay attention, and you know, don't take unnecessary risks, as they say. You know, keep your thinking caps on and pay attention to what's going on, and help folks close by to do the same. might be a good time to check your radio equipment and make sure all is in good order. If you have a go kit prepared, good to have that in good order. Of course, it's good to do that on a regular basis anyway. But thanks, Michelle, for that reminder. Appreciate that. Okay, let's go to Rita, NE0DB. Rita, let's see if your Echo Link's going to behave now. Love to hear you. Over to you, Rita, AC4YL and the net.
Okay, let's see if this is working now. This is Rita, and I'll just make it brief so that hopefully somebody hears me out there. So back to the net.
Rita, you're sounding great out there. So you want to go ahead, if you had any comments or questions for the group, please go ahead. Rita, you're coming in nice and strong.
2 meter 440 link off.
Well, Rita, we had you and then we didn't have you. So go ahead if you have a comment or question there, Rita. NE0DB, AC4YL in the net. Well, we hear you keying up there, Rita, but didn't hear you say anything. Not sure if you did or aware that the transmitter keyed up. Real quick, before I forget to mention, Linda, thank you for this, commented in the Echo Link chat. 14.325 is the National Hurricane Center frequency, so it's good to monitor that. Please do not use that frequency this weekend to have cues or contests. Leave that frequency open, and 3 kilohertz around on both sides of that frequency as well. Leave that open so that we can monitor and listen in. 14.325 National Hurricane Center frequency. Thank you very much, Linda, for that information. And Rita, any final attempts to comment here? We'll give you a chance to try one last time here before we close out the net. NE0DB, AC4YL and the net.
Okay, we'll try one more time. If you can't hear me, I'll give my 33s to everyone and hope I'll have this figured out by next week. Back to the net.
We got you that time, Rita, beautifully, so please come on back in.
Okay, so you want me to chat some more. The weather here in Colorado has been very lovely. We're so blessed that we have this nice weather considering what it's going to be like on the down in the Gulf area. So, like I said, take care, ladies, and stay out of that high water. Let's see, we did see the eclipse, like I said earlier, but I'm going to cut this short because I'm just not for sure that I'm coming in as well as I should be. So I'll say my 33s and back to the net.
Well, very good, Rita, and by the way, your audio is fantastic. It's spot on, very well done, and it's great to hear you. I'm so glad you're able to get that going. Appreciate you being here with the group, and thanks so much for joining us this evening. Do we have any AYLs who have not checked into the net and would like to do so before we wrap it up? Please call now.
This is WA4YL. Just wanted to say 33 and good night to everyone, and catch everybody down the coax next week. 73, 33 and off.
Well, thank you very much, Dawn. Appreciate that. Not hearing any other YLs check in. Susie, we do have you in the log, and we see you hitting enter there to let us know you're there, so great. Hope you enjoyed the net. It's great to see you on again tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Please, ladies, don't forget to visit our YL OpNet Facebook group, and feel free to post ham radio-related items there that we cover on the net. Anything that you would like to expand on, the topics we cover here on the net, that's the purpose of that Facebook group. So please post things there. We'd like to thank Loren KC9ZHV for live streaming and recording of this net and making it available to all through YouTube. And we'd also like to thank Alara for the use of this Echolink conference node, North Fulton Amateur Radio League for their drop-in chat room, and all LinkedIn listening for your ongoing support of this net. This is Catherine, AC4YL, closing the YL OpNet and returning the Alara conference nodes back to normal use. 33 ladies, we'll see y'all next week.